Very much, Ranking Member Lauro. Thank you very much. And to the committee members who are taking their time to attend this important hearing, I want to thank each and every one of you. I come to the table today as a father. I come to you as a member of Congress. I come to you as a member that's interested in policy that would be good for a lot of people, but good for America. I come to you today to give you some insights as a result of what the chairman and the ranking member are doing today. It will open many eyes and ears of people across this country who have recognized people who are in their community, people who may go to their church, maybe a next-door neighbor. But it opens up the eyes of the general public about how important each of our people are who have Down syndrome. They are persons with Down syndrome, and they are people who are born just like you and I. But we're selected in a different way by God to be special people. Some people refer to them as angels. But they are people who are in our midst who very much want and need not just to be respected, but to be included in the general, I think, attributes of society to make their lives better too. And I think what you'll hear over and over today from not only the families and the advocates, but it is a recognition of how important it is for Congress to turn not only their resolve into making life better for them, but by helping all people. So today I will tell you Alexander Gregory Sessions, my son, who is 23 years old, cannot be here today. Here he is as an Eagle Scout with me. And Alex, then a year or so ago, we went to an SMU football game, and he had a chance to be there. Alex works for Home Depot. So the business community has caught on that there are attributes about each of our people that might include them in a work relationship. Today, we are talking about a number of factors, including how the NIH might be more involved in the research, in advancing the things that we know that exist within our Down syndrome community, about how it can prepare all of us for the future. But what I'd like to say to you is that there are facts and factors about our advancements that have made life better. You will hear Dr. Mobley today, my very dear friend, who for a number of years has been really my advisor, my pusher, my guy that I pray for because he makes advances. And what Bill would tell you, in the 50s, the average age of a Down syndrome person that lived would be 9 years old. In the 80s, it went to 25. It's now almost 60. And that is because the attitudes of the American people, including the medical community, who would look at a person and think that perhaps they did not have the tools to adequately take care of them. Perhaps it was because of maybe some bias, maybe on some intellectual ability model. Perhaps it might be from their own bias of not really understanding the importance of that person. What I want to suggest to you today is by you taking the opportunity to hear our story, you will see that there are people that are behind me that are all over our great land. They are families who work in their Down syndrome societies back in their homes. They are people who, when a new baby is born, will make calls to that family and say, as I have done many times, including to Kathy McMorris Rogers when Cole was born, that this is a gift, that this is an opportunity as a parent to accept a relationship with a special person and to try and grow them to not only a lifetime of activity, but one that we would better their lives and so many others. Alexander Gregory Sessions, while he's an Eagle Scout, I think he taught each of those boys as much about life and about the opportunities as any scouting experience that they have. But I will also tell you that Alex, now at age 23, does not remember a day in scouting. Some of the greatest parts of my life and his life, he can't even remember. And so it tells me and us that we need to turn to research. We need to turn to research, not just the medical community, but the researchers at NIH and those who are like Dr. Mobley and Dr. Espinoza, who can look at the general population of Down syndrome people and begin working on those intellectual areas, those areas not only of the brain, but of the receptors that synapse and dendrites that allow the brain to function and to talk back and forth to each other. And so that is the specialty type of work that you, as members of this Appropriations Committee, get into. I encourage you and push you and applaud you to please understand that what is here behind us today is embodied by the co-chairman of our Down Syndrome Caucus. But we are asking you to please know how important today's hearing is and to thank each and every one of you. As I look at this committee, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member DeLauro, I see not only colleagues, I see kind people who recognize that research and development, that the R&D models, us pushing, not just oversight, us pushing the NIH in directions that we believe are important, aids and helps them to not only develop their content, but to work forward. Lastly, I will say this, Dr. Francis Collins and I are very dear friends, and I have asked and received Dr. Collins 6 different times to come up to the Rules Committee. Chairman Cole has been there, Ranking Member DeLauro has been there, as we talk about issues that the NIH handles. They need $300 million, that's it, $300 million more a year to give them a better opportunity to grow the scientific community of young people who've gone through college and to maybe give them their first taste of an opportunity to be a leader in this area and for us to grow our young people. So I would say not only are we here with the opportunity, I think, to discuss Down syndrome, but overall, Mr. Chairman, as you look at a pot of money that might give the Director Collins, a chance to offer seedlings, evidence that we can grow the number of researchers and investigators, it would be helpful. I want to give my thanks to each of you on this committee, not only for your kindness to be here today, but your thoughtfulness as you make tough decisions about the direction of this country. And I trust that not only will you do that well, but this body will support your activity. Mr. Chairman, I yield. I would ask unanimous consent that anything I brought in writing would be available to
without objection.
Be available today. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I suspect young